Hello, this is Dr. Obsidia. We're going to be taking a look at the Steam Summer Sale again. This is my top 5 sleeper hits. You may have heard of some of these already, but I wanted to introduce a few of the games that I've either really enjoyed playing or I've got my eye on that I think people might not know much about. And if you know of any other ones, make sure that you let the people in the comment section know that they might be interested in following, including me. I'd be happy to see all the things that you guys might be interested in or are keeping an eye on. This is the first sleeper hit that I want to talk about. It is called Kenshi. Kenshi is a free roaming squad based RPG. It's an open-ended sandbox game. In this game, you create a character or a group of characters and you explore the world. It's completely sandbox. It was created back in 2018 and released, but it's been in development for a really long time. You can see from the recent reviews that it's overwhelmingly positive. This game I've played a whole lot. You can start out with your pretty much nondescript, weak nobody in a very, very dangerous world. So you scrape and claw your way up. There's not really any quests, so to speak, although you can kind of find a little bit of a story and make your own quests and run around looting or fighting bandits, doing bounties is about the closest thing you can get. You eventually accrue a group of people that you can train up. Now they can wield different weapons, everything from blunt instruments to katanas and crossbows. They can even get good at the turrets. You can see in the video there a little bit. You get them quite epic battles. As you're watching the video, you can see some of the armor that they have. You can build your own town. And if you do get this game, there's a whole lot of mods to invest in. You can be several different races, and the other thing to mention is they are coming out with a part 2, so that means that this price is going to be slightly lower just because the part 2 is in development. And everybody that I know that plays this game is very excited about the part 2. I could see you easily putting in thousands of hours into this game simply because of how difficult it is and how much you can do with it. You can make your own stories, you can start over and start with a new area, a new group of people. You can start with a different type of reputation. You can work with the slavers or work against them. There's the hivers there you saw. You can work with the hiver people, and once you get all these people on your side, you can go to their shops, and you get a chance to use their cities. And also you can try to take over the world for your faction, or you could just set up your own little colony and manage it yourself. There are so many things to do in this game. It is a very good sandbox. It does feel at times a little rough around the edges, but that is very forgivable considering how much love and effort is put into this by the community. Check out their Facebook page. Check out some of the gameplay videos. I do have some on my channel. Now the next one I'm going to mention, although it's not really a sleeper hit, but it may be under the radar for some people, is Battletech. This is one of those tabletop games where they've tried through the years to come out with something decent, and I've just never been really happy with the way it's played out. Until now. It's not perfect, but some of the mods do make it really good. You can play the base game. The campaign is very interesting, but they've recently released some DLC for it that allows you to have all kinds of different experiences as far as the sandbox and the ongoing campaign goes. So it is very fun. You do run your own ship. You can see it flying there. You upgrade it. Then you do load out your mechs. You can add different kinds of weapons, throw heat sinks on them, add different kinds of long-range things. You capture mechs, break them, you can sell them, you can capture pieces of them, you have to knock them apart. So for example, if you knock out their head, you can get the entire mech, but if you blow up their torso, you may get some salvage parts from it, and then you take those salvage parts. They're just nondescript, and you can put them together into various mechs. You roll with a team, you get your mech warriors, you can level them up, and this game started out a little bit as it was a Kickstarter, I think. Yeah, Kickstarter, and it was a little bit of an excitement for the Battletech community, but I think it's grown beyond that some. So if you've ever been a little bit interested in Battletech, this may be the game to check out for you. I really enjoyed it. I put a lot of hours into it, and I'm still playing it, especially with the mods.
Our ancestors reached for the stars. forging a bright new civilization across thousands.
And you definitely can't avoid the 75% off. Again, the money here is in Korean won, based on my location, but you can just assume if you knock off the last 3 zeros, you can get US dollars. Roughly, the US dollars is around 10 US dollars for this. Great deal. And the DLC, you can get the season pass, season pass bundle, and you get all the extra flashpoints and so on, or you can get the mercenary collection to get them all. It's a great game. I love it. I recommend it. Check it out if you haven't heard of it. You might be interested too.
As a noble, my path is set. I must.
Number 3 on my countdown here is something you may have heard of or maybe not. This is the first in a long line of games that they are coming out with, and the interesting thing about this game is it did come out in 2014, but it is still a good RPG game that some people may have not even heard of. One of the things that people really love about this game is just the sheer fact that the world building that starts out very slow, in the very first game, and as it goes on, you learn about the world, you learn the history, you learn all of the major players and things, and they build on that throughout time. So if you think Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy does have an overall appearance to it, an overall story kind of style, but this one continues to build. So you can think Final Fantasy, but building the world over time. You get very invested in it later. People really love this game and the campaign story that continues on throughout the games in the series. This is the very first one for about 10 US dollars. You can pick it up. It's 50% off. It is an older game, but and it does start slow, so you got to give it a chance. But once you get into this, you're going to enjoy it. There's a long line of games that are beyond this, and it's going to probably continue on. My number 4 game is actually a combination of 2, and they do go together. Field of Glory Empires is a grand strategy game. You can think of Crusader Kings or Hearts of Iron style or Imperator Rome. This is actually one of the games that could probably compete with Imperator Rome. Now, standing alone, I don't know that it beats Imperator Rome. But here you can see it is loved by the people who play it. 83% for the overall and 90% for the last 30 days. It is a game where you're going to be building up your empire, the Roman Empire in this case, it shows here. And I don't have this game, but this is on my list. It's probably going to be one I purchased during the sale. You build up your overall faction and you command your legions and you go conquer the world. Now, it's nothing else that we haven't seen before. Rome 2 does very similar thing, and so does other games from Paradox. But the interesting thing about this one, and the reason I like it, just like I like the Total War series, is for the same reason that you can, once you get into a fight, you zoom in on the fight, and you can actually control your legions. Now, this one has a second game that comes along, the Field of Glory 2, and Field of Glory 2 is the tactical version where you can actually export your Field of Glory Empire's battles into the Field of Glory 2 game. So these are 2 separate games, but it does have an export feature. So you export it, you launch the other game, and you can go in and you have these set piece battles. Think chess, but modern day chess version, where you line up all your troops and you tactically manage them. Now, each game alone could be hundreds of hours if you're into this sort of thing, but if you combine them, it is quite an interesting concept of being able to get 2 games and being able to unite them together so that you can play both the campaign map and also the tactical battles, just like you would in games like Total War. However, this one does do turn-based tactical battles as well, so there's a lot of depth in this and a lot of strategy involved. And for those of you that may not like the Total War fast-paced action or even some of the fantasy things that they have, the Field of Glory 2 and Field of Glory Empire's combination might be something you're interested in. Down here you can see the bundle together, saving 57% off that. That's a pretty good deal, and something that I've been watching for quite a while and very interested in getting. I think that you could pretty much lose days and months of your life into this game.
This is our colony, our home. I never thought we'd come this far. But this is not how it started. When the demons came, humanity was not prepared.
So this next game I'm introducing is one that you may not have heard of or possibly have been kind of following. When it first came out, I was a little bit disappointed in it, but over time they've patched it. They've done some things with it that make it a little more exciting. This is my number 5 game of sleeper hits. The devs and the players are always kind of playing this. You can see this right now. They're playing it live to show you how it works. Think RimWorld if you're interested in that kind of thing. This one is Apocalypse, demon-infested world where you're trying to survive Judgment Day. Not quite as flexible as RimWorld, not quite as fun as RimWorld, I think. But it does have more character interaction with your ability to level up your characters and give them certain skills and things like that. And also crafting and dealing with demons, and the overall scavenging is a little bit more than you would in RimWorld, where you focus more on just one map. So check this one out. It is only $10, $10 US dollars or so. It may be something you're interested in. They do have another game under this bundle here, Project Zomboid, which is one that I was also interested in, but it is quite old. You are a survivor of the zombie apocalypse. You build your own stronghold and scavenge resources and things. This is one that I'm still thinking of picking up. I haven't got it, but I've been watching a lot of the gameplay footage, and it does look like something I'd be interested in. So you might want to check this one out too. And those are my top 5 sleeper hits. Again, you may have heard of some of them, and you may not have heard of others. Those are things you might want to check out. They are on sale. I've picked only things that are on sale. And if you haven't taken advantage of that road trip special, you can see up here, hopefully it's available everywhere in your area. You can save about, I'm going to say about because that's not exactly right, about $5. Maybe it's the same in the US as it is in other countries too, if you purchase $30 of things. And I think that it's very easy to just throw a lot of money into the games here. There's a lot of great stuff out there. Plus you get some points and you can update your avatars and your Steam profile as well. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you in the next episode.